I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Look Back. This is where I take a look at videos that I reviewed or games I reviewed a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago, and kind of tell you what I think about them now, if I think about them at all. So this week, a year ago, I took a look at Storytellers. This was a cute little kids game where you put cards in and tell a story, but it's too focused. It's hard to explain, but all the cards are animals, and it's just not very good. It's a good idea, but not implemented well. 5 out of 10. Red Cap Ruckus, I gave this one a 6.5. This is the idea of sliding discs on top of a mushroom to make them fall off with special powers and things. It's so close to working. I like the idea. I love those machines and Chuck E. Cheese and things where the coins push each other. But there's just a smidge missing, 6.5. Dinner in Paris is a very pretty game where you're building your cafes in Paris. There's a square and you're trying to build them out, cover up icons, cut other people off. It's kind of a mean little game, but I like it. It's a cute one in the Dice Tower Library, 7 out of 10. Rococo Deluxe Edition. Now, to be clear, Rococo I probably would give a straight 8 to the normal version. I like it a lot. This one I gave a 7 because I actually think the deluxe version is too much, is too big. The price point here is not worth the game. The game is a smaller style game, and I like it. I just thought this was too grandiose. World Shapers, a nice little game, 7 out of 10 here, building columns of cards and getting points for them. Little Wood, with a Y. This is a 7 out of 10. I like the games it's based on. It's the same game as Drive or Call to Glory or Crazy Chicken. There's a lot of games with the same name. Very simple card collection game. This one has special powers. I don't know if I like it as much as some of the other themes, but it works. Wingspan Oceania. This one I gave a 7.5 to. I like this, and I love Wingspan. Wingspan Oceania adds a wild resource, which makes the game easier, which I normally like. I like my games to be easier. This one in particular, though, I felt it didn't jive as well for me as the other expansion, the Europe one. 5 Minute Mystery, 8 out of 10. Really like this game. Quick game with kids as you look at a card, looking for things, solve a lock, get some deduction to eliminate suspects. It's probably more than 5 minutes most of the time, but still a quick, fun family game. And Alter Quest, I gave an 8 out of 10 to. Now, Alter Quest has a few problems. Rulebook's not amazing. It's a little, as you play through it, there's a little too much stuff. But the concept of it, where you go to a room, reveal what's in that room, reveal the monsters in that room, it's nice. It's not a campaign. It's a single dungeon. There's a lot of good things in it. They could have streamlined it a bit. You do go through card, but I enjoy it. All right, 5 years ago, Fuji Flush. Everybody was raving about Fuji Flush. It's a little card game where you play cards after other people. It's sideways from Uno for me. I didn't find any strategy to this game. 5 out of 10. Phase. Another 5 out of 10. This came in a black box. For a while, AEG was releasing a black box on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. I was in, what was inside it? This year, in particular, 5 years ago, it was this Phase game with double-sided cards and, light and dark and just so much going on, but the gameplay itself wasn't interesting. This game came and went super fast. Running with the Bulls. So Running with the Bulls by Paul Peterson was from Calliope Games and their series of games from great designers, which honestly should be called leftover games from great designers, because every designer, with one exception, which maybe I'll talk about in a few weeks, has given them a game that's okay at best. And Running with the Bulls, where these dice are coming down and you're trying to run from the bulls, sounds fun, super chaotic, and too lucky. 5 out of 10. Menu Masters. This is in that same series. This is from the Wisemans, Jordan Wiseman and his son. And you're just collecting goods to do menus. Again, super lucky, not very interesting. Another 5 out of 10. I took a look at Quirkle. Now, everyone loves Quirkle. I give it a 6 out of 10. I get the appeal to it. It's in the Dice Tower Library. Fantastic game for many people. For me, it's okay. It's color Scrabble, which is fine. I just find it to be okay when I play it. It's amusing slightly. 13 Clues, a deduction game, which I felt to be too simplistic with the deduction and requires you sometimes to ask a lucky question. 6 out of 10. Rainbow Rage, flipping over rainbows, trying to match colors. I like this one. It was silly. I haven't kept it though, so I'm dropping it from a 7 to a 6. Planet Surprise, a scratch-off game, which means I don't have it anymore. So I don't know that I would give a scratch-off game a 7 today. Maybe I would. I doubt it. So I'm dropping this one from a 7 to a 6 also. Ulm, ULM, is a bigger, grandiose game from Hook/R&R Games. I enjoyed this one. It's a nice little column row type action mechanism, moving a boat down a river. Solid. It's a little forgettable. No one talks about it now, but I liked it. A 7 out of 10. Sound like I was saying there. Anyway, 13 Days, the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is 7.5. This is essentially a game that feels like Twilight Struggle, but very, very short. A much shorter version of it. And it's not as grandiose and good, but it's a very solid game for its length. And Rum and Bones Second Tide. This is a 2nd edition of Rum and Bones, a 2-player game, which has your people running at each other, the back and forth. Video games made this very popular. I love the 2nd edition much more than the 1st. I haven't played it in a long time because there's a lot to set up for 2 players, so I've just smidgen dropped it from a 9 to an 8.5. All right, 10 years ago, I took a look at Greedy Greedy, just a trash little card game, 4 out of 10. Rails of New England, a 5.5 I gave this one. I wanted to like this one more than I could, but I was constantly spending time, even though I grew up near New England, not in New England. I didn't know where any of these cities were. And so I spent a good chunk of the game looking for the cities on the map. It has a boring look. It's an okay back and forth game, although the designer's a acclaimed author, actually, but 5.5. Cubulus. This is an abstract strategy game I like where you're sticking these balls into a cube and manipulating it 3D. That's kind of cool. 7 out of 10. Way Kick. This is like air hockey, but instead of your hands being on top of the table, they're underneath it. A lot of fun, but it's a big, giant, thing that you would buy for your house. 7 out of 10. No, 8 out of 10, actually. Flashpoint Fire Rescue. Now, this one, I've moved from an 8 to an 8.5. I really like Flashpoint Fire Rescue. The more I play it, the more I enjoy it, going in and rescuing people from a fire. It's for me, it's the kind of, if you've never played a cooperative game before, this is one I would consider teaching you first. And then Jamaica. This one was a 7.5. I dropped it to a 7. I'm not as keen on Jamaica anymore. I still enjoy it. I'll play it. But if you want to play it with people who love it, then play it with the other guys here at the studio because they love Jamaica. Still a solid game about racing pirate ships around. So, anyway, that's the games I reviewed 1, 5, and 10 years ago. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Look Back on the Dice Tower.